Hey calf fans, we're going to talk about particle size and calf starter today and limiting the amount of fines for your calves. Fines are often an issue sometimes when we talk about calf starter and how important it is to minimize the amount of fines. Some really cool research that came out of British Columbia here recently kind of showed why fines are less preferred. So we know that calves don't eat the fines very well, and part of the reason for that is when they do ingest the fines, sometimes those are really heavy, find their way down to the bottom of the rumen and out of the rumen into the small intestine, where they can eventually be fermented in the large intestine. Might actually cause a little bit of gas, some frustration, some pain there as far as that goes. So that may be one of the physiological reasons why calf fines are not so desirable. Well, when we make calf starter, we want to make sure that we choose ingredients that are firm and hard, that are going to stand up to the mixing and the feeding process. We want to screen any potential fines out of individual ingredients. For example, in whole corn, there's quite a bit of fines depending on whether the corn has been dried, if the corn has been cleaned, if we're just opening up a bin where it's been in storage for quite a while. We do want to screen the fines out of that whole corn to improve our overall calf starter. One of the things that folks will often do is try to add molasses to stick the feed together to reduce the visibility of the fines. That actually kind of starts to overwhelm the process, in that the molasses has about a third of it as water, and that water will actually cause the protein pellet to break down, increasing the amount of fines that we have. So we usually try to limit the amount of molasses to say 100 pounds or so per ton to avoid that from happening. You have quite a bit of control as well in terms of how you manage the feed on the farm. If feed is being delivered in bulk, we really prefer that bulk feed to be in a bin that has a slide bottom where the feed can simply just drop out of the bottom. If we're putting the feed through an auger, we know that's going to create some fines. We figure about every time feed is augered, we create somewhere between 2 to as high as 5% fines in the feed. So even if feed is low fines to begin with, the more times it's augered, the more fines can be created. The way the auger is set up is important as well. The steeper the auger is, the harder the auger has to work to push the feed up. More friction, more fines can be created. Also the diameter of the auger. A narrow auger will create more fines than a wide spaced auger. So an auger that's little, like a 4-inch auger, that has a high angle, it's going to grind the feed, create more fines. The other thing that's important too is that whenever we're feeding, we're going to make sure the feed is fresh in the pails, changing out that feed quite regularly. If there are some fines, we want to make sure we're dumping those fines and replacing with clean, fresh feed right away. I'll show you an example of how we evaluate calf starter at Vita Plus. So I have an example of a calf starter here. This is BSF. Our target on this product is less than 2% fines in our bag feed, less than 4% fines in our delivered bulk feed. So a simple way to measure this is use a screening technique. This is a simple screen. This is a number 5 screen. It's got a wire mesh bottom, and then here's the pan here. Any fines from this feed will be captured in the pan. So we'll take a small sample of the feed, usually around 250-300 grams or so. Put it on the screen. We'll give it a good shake, and then we'll weigh the resultant amount of fines. And I think you'll be able to see really not much fines that are here at all. And so that's really what we're kind of targeting. So from a calf health standpoint, from a feed intake standpoint, we want as low of fines as we possibly can. With that, appreciate your time. I'm Noah Litherland from Vita Plus. Have a great day.